Either All Might did not have any faith in the current hero system, which by the way is completely true, or he is hiding something even deeper within himself. Then again, the system of having one man as a symbol is at the same time very heartwarming as it is foolish. And that's one of the reasons why Night Eye and All Might technically broke up. Albeit kinda. Yes, I am talking My Hero Academia. Boku no Hero Academia 130. Turns out that Night Eye and Bubble Girl has been stalking the house. They contact with the students, Togaru and Deku, who tells them about this, even though he's surprisingly very kind of about these facts, even though he's still a bit strict on Deku. And now he reveals something very, very, very strange about the, you know, Overhaul's quirk. You all remember those thieves he killed? Well, somehow they weren't killed. Instead, they seemed to have been killed, but actually they became revived and were practically cleaned of every single disorder within themselves. And the money those thieves took were taken by them and then burned. So what? Are you telling me Overhaul's quirk is not something like disintegration? He actually can clean off things? I mean, it would match his personality, but that only makes his goal even further confusing. Why do I have a feeling his plan is somehow to take away the quirks of everyone in the world? I just have a feeling it sounds like that. They talk about Eri, and Night Eye makes actually a words that a lot of reviewers agreed on. Is the fact that a lot have said that there's difference between Togaru and Deku, and here Night Eye actually lampshade it, just like all the reviewers said. If you tried to do this alone, you were too arrogant. You cannot win everything with willpower alone. And that's actually what it made a lot of viewers make points. Deku's may have a very kind heart and stuff, but he is in the end one man and he is not All Might. And even All Might had his limitations. You cannot solve everything with willpower alone. I mean, I hate that. If anything, I wish that was true in real life, but it's not. So, Night Eye makes it perfectly clear that there are sometimes you have to make a prediction of your opponent and then make a move. So the next day, everything seems well. Both Bakugo and the other ones have strict training. And Deku is unfocused, but mostly because he wants to ask All Might something. As All Might begins to jog now, Deku catch up to him and actually demands to know, why are you keeping secrets from me? I am, even though All Might doubts the question, saying it had nothing to do with you, Deku says, it have everything to do with it. I'm bound with truths I do not even know. And I do not know what your intentions are. I'm not just your fan, I'm saying that as your successors. For the first time ever, Deku's faith in All Might is actually beginning to waver. And as I said in many reviews, I just feel like Deku is getting a darker personality. I do not like that. So All Might tells the story, and surprisingly says, you better not regret it. Turns out that All Might never really wanted to have sidekicks, well, which was not a surprise. He actually believed he alone was sufficient. However, he employed Night Eye, who was not only a very persistent fan, but also very persistent in everything. Although Night Eye's physical abilities weren't impressive, he had an extraordinary amount of intelligence. Effectively, they became the brawn and the brain combo. But then they broke up 6 years ago, after All for One's fight against All Might. Even though All Might was badly wounded, All Might wanted to leave the hospital and immediately go to the place. And Night Eye said that you cannot continue being the hero that you are right now. The pain you felt towards everything else was too severe. You need to rest. And strangely enough, it was Night Eye who said that you need to find a successor. However, it was All Might who did not believe that such a thing exists. Or more likely, he said that even if someone like that did exist, how long do you think it will take me to find that one? And how long do you think another awful one will happen? In essence, this is actually mm, uh, a very both a kind situation, but also a little bit double-edged. As I said sometimes, All Might was a very mighty hero, but that's just it. He was too mighty. So, and he was just one man. In the end, this just confirms it. He was just one man. And what happens when such an idol crashes? We have seen. All Might tried desperately to prevent that, but Night Eye was the one who said he needed to have a replacement. And All Might, surprisingly, is not so ignorant to society as he says he is. He's always been shown to be an all-loving hero who encouraged people. But it turns out that in the end, All Might is still someone who is not so that all-loving. He believes that a villain will appear after an All for One, and he also believes that that he needs to shoulder every responsibility himself. He is taking. He doesn't believe. He doesn't. He can get hurt. He just doesn't want anyone else to hurt. It's a too kind heart that's hurting everything else. So Night Eye looked into his eyes and saw his foresight, and saying that he needed to retire because if anything happens, you will die. You will face a death more gruesome than anything else, and he, as his biggest fan, did not want that. And Night Eye wanted to change that future for everything else, because and he wants someone who wanted to be an assistant to a man of all might. But Night Eye just said that if you continue doing this, you will clash with a villain and head towards a gruesome death that cannot possibly even put into words. Is that, and I think there, and it seems like All Might did not want to tell that because as his fan, I mean, as Deku was a fan of All Might, I think he didn't want to change Deku's feelings on him, on how he looked like him. So they had a fight about the future. All Might defied it, and in the end, Night Eye was true. He lost his power, and he did not find a successor in time. I mean, Deku is the successor, but he has not groomed him enough. And the reason why he didn't meet Togata is because he met Deku first. That's when he decided. So all in all, that's basically this chapter. So, Night Eye's words seems to hint that All Might has yet to actually face his death after all. There have been many hints that he's secretly dying, and after the fight with All for One, he is no longer the symbol All for One. Was that the future that that Night Eye saw, or are we meeting something else? Who knows, but will this change Deku's opinion? Will Deku now realize that you cannot take everything on yourself? And will this change? Moreover, will we see what Overhaul's plan is? Moreover, I'm actually pissed that no one has actually said, I mean, yeah, they have said, the police have said, but no of the other youngsters have said that they need to work together. The police said, we need to work together to be strong. In a way, that's exactly what Night Eye also was saying. But so far, no one believes that. Deku needs to realize that. He cannot shoulder all the responsibility himself. All Might did that, and we all know what happened. So give me your thoughts if you have any.